Now, imagine this, living a life full of purpose, that every single morning you wake up and the one thing on your mind is actually feeding 1,500 children with a cup of Uji for their break. Well, that's the story of Francis Amonde, who we'll be spending the day with. And right now we want to pick him up from his house and head out to a school in Kangware and do exactly that. Some stories are definitely worth telling. Let's go. Francis,
yes.
Mbona ufungi mlango? How are you?
Huku ni safe.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh my goodness, Cup of Uji.
Yeah.
You are such a hero. You are such a hero.
Thank you.
And you're doing an amazing job. Mpaka tukakuja kutafuta huku mwimuto. No, I can see the tea is already set.
Yes.
Ulisikia maneno ya Upclose.
Najuanga tu. Inabidi.
Inabidi hapana haibidi. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, and my goodness, we are so proud of you and what you're doing. I know that the kids are supposed to be getting their break at around 10:30.
Yes.
So lazima tuharakishe alafu tuende. So, but tell us about yourself, because this initiative is an amazing one. You started it when you were 21 years. Yeah. First of all, why did you start such an initiative?
I was in college, and so my late mom happened to be a primary school teacher. So the school where she used to teach, what I actually did was, when one time I went to go just visiting, then I found some kids who were just out of the classroom. So I decided to ask, why are these kids out of the classroom and not looking that well? So when I did that, then what I was basically told is that most of them from that setup were orphans. So either partial or total orphans. So in most instances, they would come to school, they didn't have breakfast, or they didn't have both breakfast and supper the previous night. Yeah. So I said, how can someone stay in class with nothing in their stomach? So I asked myself, what could I do? I was thinking to do for them lunch, that was rice and beans, but that was going to be so expensive. Yes. So I said, how about I just do Uji? Yeah.
First of all, you know, when I read your story, feeding 1,500 children, I mean, where do you get the heart to, first of all, see ati ukona do, but you, whatever small money you had, you decided to actually give it away and sacrifice for these kids. What does it take to be such a human being?
I've been passionate about children. So, because I remember when in college, I used to belong to a club, it was called I Choose Life, where I would actually basically visit children's homes. So I would see some of these things and I would just want to try and maybe change the situation in a small way. So that is what actually led me into, I didn't know back then, but along the way I got to know that, okay, this is what I was coming into in terms of like doing something for children who are from less privileged backgrounds.
So let me ask you, so when you're growing up, yeah, you said your mom was a primary school teacher,
Yes.
your late mom. First of all, how was that like?
Life was quite interesting. We were 5 of us, though one of us passed on in 2007. And so it was quite kind of tricky because my mom kind of valued education. So having all of us in school meant that for her, she would actually basically, most of the time, do a lot of loans and so that we could go to school. And I remember when I was supposed to join Form 1, then she had gone to Kisi because she had gone to the bank to apply for a loan. And then on her way back, she had a road accident.
Oh, really?
Which I didn't know about. So the vehicle rolled several times. I was only told like 3 days later because like they were trying to really hide that from me. She was rushed to the hospital. She couldn't move, but she survived the accident. So that is basically growing up. I just grew up in Oyugis. Yeah. And that is in Oma Bay County. And we just grew up like other normal kids, going to the river.
And you're telling us that when you guys were growing up, like life was hard, yeah? Was she a single mom?
Not really. My dad was there, yes, but my dad also got to marry another wife, and so that kind of brought a lot of tension in the family, and so we didn't know how to react to that. So that was really tricky for us. So things became difficult from then, and Mama had to juggle between us going to school, us having food on the table, and also even just clothing, just the basic things that someone might want in life. Yeah.
Do you think that the initiative you have, Cup of Uji, is actually maybe has an inclination to how you grew up, with hardship, and here you are trying now to make life better for other kids?
Okay, basically the most interesting bit was that as early as age 5, I remember what I would do is that, you see, you would be given a few coins to use during break time to at least buy sugarcane and all that. And so I would be saving that. Then I would go buy some baby clothes. And then once I get the baby clothes, then I try and wrap them in old newspapers. And on Sundays, I would then go to church and wait until when they're saying the last prayer, and then I drag the polythene there, because I used to carry some babies when I was going to church. They would cry, and then I would note that some of them didn't have proper clothing. So I knew by putting that at the front church of the church, then at least the pastor would end up giving the women whose babies didn't have.
So it is actually something that, it was innately in you. Yeah, it is who you are.
Yes, it was, but I didn't know back then what I was doing. Yeah. Actually, later on is when I was like, okay, so it's connecting to what I'm currently doing. So that is basically
that's great.
Yeah.
All right, let's have some tea. Then we head out. All right, so we are in Kangware. Tumefika sasa. Yeah. It's around 11 o'clock. Yeah. So we'll be giving the kids uji. Yeah? A cup of uji. And hapa tuko wapi?
Love School in Congo.
In Congo. Yeah. All right, let's go. Hello. Hi, how are you? Good. My name is Betty. It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Yeah. So you can see it's already break time.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it is break time. Yeah, they are playing. Yeah,
so how many kids do you have in the school?
I have 400.
400?
Yes.
No, not to share pawote.
Yeah, we have more classes.
Oh, more classes.
Yeah.
And obviously, Francis ametuleta hapa.
Yes.
What do you think of this initiative that he has?
It's very good. Yeah, they are making the kids very happy, healthy, and active. Yeah.
What is the difference that a cup of uji means for these kids?
Okay, before they were not coming.
They're not coming to school?
Yes.
Okay.
But every day they have to come.
So because the uji now is attracting them to come to school. So do we go and serve them?
Yes, we will just go and serve the porridge because it's break time.
I called them.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go and serve uji. So, mko tayari kunywa uji? Aya, mko tayari? Yes. Siwasikii, mko tayari? Yes. Aya basi, mimi naitwa Betty, si ndio? Tumetoka K24, leo tunakaa na nyinyi tuone mkinywa uji. Pia mimi mtanipatia kikombe moja? Yes. Ati? Yes. All right, sawa, let's do this. So first of all, it's the small ones who start. All right. Next. So what does it take to feed 300 kids? These are 300 kids.
Yeah, these are 300.
And how many schools do you normally feed?
So we have 8 schools currently with a total of 3,793 all combined that we give uji.
How many?
3,793 children in all the 8 schools. Yeah, among 8 schools.
And these schools are in Nairobi or they are in different places in the country?
They're widespread. They're in 6 counties currently. Okay. We have Kajiado, we have Kilifi, we have Nairobi, Homa Bay. Wapi Kikombe? Yeah, wawili.
So 8 schools, 3,793 kids, yeah. So where do you get the money to actually do this?
It's either through people doing online donations, or we talk to companies to at least give us like a number of kgs of the flour we used to use, Famila Pure Wimbi. So, or they give us sugar for a given period. So that goes a long way in helping, and also sometimes personal resources also go into this. Yeah, so basically that is how we are able to support all these children.
And how hard was it when you started?
When I started, it was easy because it was 100 kids, which was manageable.
Which was manageable.
Yeah, so right now you have 3,000 and you're like, yeah, you have to really think like on top of your feet every single day. So that's quite serious.
I saw you had a movement called the 10 Bob movement.
Yeah, so we just urge people to just donate using our pay bill. And so, yeah, Kenyans online are basically generous, so they have always supported us in a big way. And that is the main support that actually goes into the uji, which we really appreciate.
When you see these kids, and even what the teacher said, finally coming to school because there's something that is attracting them to come to school, that they never used to come in these numbers, and here they are you know, almost 400 kids. How does that make you feel?
Okay, it feels good because one, it's just not about the hunger thing. It's about making education accessible, because for some of them that is what drives them to come to school. So when they come to school, at least they're able to learn, and they're able to also concentrate because they have Uji. And you know, when they excel even academically or even in their talents after having a cup of Uji, then at least they're able to have some opportunities in life just as a result of coming to school. So that goes a long way.
This is just so commendable.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we have actually finished serving the whole school Uji, and it's so nice to just see the smile on their faces even as they say thank you, and obviously means so much to them. All right, so we're done. Nimejimwagilia Uji. So let me ask you, it's obviously the headmistress there is saying that some of them don't have cups. How can people come through and help, you know?
Other people can just donate cups. We have our social media handles which they can actually use to inbox us. Like we have Cup of Uji Kenya on Twitter. We have Cup of Uji Kenya on Instagram. We have Cup of Uji on Facebook. Yeah, so that way.
Hashtag Cup of Uji.
Hashtag Cup of Uji. Yeah, so that way they're able to at least reach us, and if they want to donate even flour or sugar, so it's easier that way. Yeah, and they will be able to also find the pay bill where they can do the 10 bob movement thing, so it's easier.
Just 10 bob.
Yeah,
that's what you just want.
Yeah, that's
not
all.
so much. Just 10
so
bob.
much.
Yeah. Oh, you found a cup? Huh? How many rounds 2? In round 2. Oh, I thought. Do you have people who you've employed, or it's people who just volunteer?
We just have volunteers. We have volunteers actually, but most of them are either people who are working, so when they get leave, they come to serve, or students, so when they're in session, so they can't come. But in such instances where they are not present, then the teachers in the schools take the responsibility of serving their kids. Yeah.
So that also can be some, you know, a way to help.
A way to help. They're just coming to just serve the
kids.
Yeah.
Wow, this is really lovely. I think we finished. Look at all the kids. This is so beautiful, honestly. Just look at that. All the kids now having their Uji before they go. Round 2. Kabisa. There you go.
I think so we are done.
So we're done. We're done for the day's break.
The day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the kids are enjoying their Uji, which is a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is what happens in now all the other schools that we also support. So,
that you also support.
Yeah.
How long are you going to do this? And how big are you envisioning? Sorry, how big are you envisioning this is going to actually be?
We look forward to doing for more schools, because the demand is there. There's so many schools who are requesting if you could do Uji for them, and so you realize that, okay, we don't have the adequate resources for the same, so we are working on how to come on board with that. Actually, we have a program where we are hoping, last year we donated some food stuff to people in Turkana.
Right.
So we are hoping that this year we will be able to buy some baskets from the women there.
Yes.
So once we sell, then we use that to buy the flour and the sugar for the kids to have porridge. So we empower the women from Turkana, and at the same time we come back and give porridge to the kids.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is one of the things we are thinking about.
Has the Ministry of Education maybe come, to help you?
When we started with the first school, the most interesting thing is that they saw the impact of the porridge in that school, because we would invite them to even come and see how the kids are receiving the porridge. And interesting enough, I remember the representative of the DC education officer who came at that time just came with a very long list of schools that he was like, please, if you are giving this, please consider these schools. And I was like, this thing, it takes resources, so we can't actually, because the ministry is not in a position to commit resources to it. So we are hoping that with time it can become a school feeding initiative that is adopted, and all kids in all public primary schools are able to receive a cup of Uji. It might look simple, but it really goes a long way for these kids. Yeah.
So are you studying? What is it that apart from this?
Okay,
who else are you? What else do you do for a living?
Yeah, apart from Uji, I do social media management mostly for individuals, and then at the same time I do research work, and then I do facilitation on life skills and living values, like the organizations that maybe invite me to train adolescents on life skills and living values. And then at the same time, That's basically it. I do public speaking. Maybe if institutions of higher learning invite me to talk about a topic, but for a pay, so that yeah, so that whatever I earn, I bring it back to Uji. So yeah, so that is basically my life outside Uji. Yes.
Outside Uji.
Yes.
Wow, this is amazing. All right, so we've already finished, but okay, obviously the Uji is so delicious. We didn't even have a cup. Look at this kid, it's so beautiful. Honestly, the whole playground is full of kids who are just enjoying their Uji. Now, sasa, is Vanilla Squad. This is so amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. They've literally finished everything. Look at that. So listen guys, you've heard it from Francis, Cup of Uji on social media pages. You can actually do something, either if it's cups, flour, sugar, what else? Volunteering even to serve the kids in the different schools. Just do something. This has been an amazing experience, and my goodness, wow, you are doing, look at those kids there. they're even squatting around the sufuria. Oh my God, this is amazing. So Francis, honestly, we wish you all the best. We hope that people will actually come, will actually come out and support you in any way. You know what?
Thank you.
Oh my God, this is
and
good.
thanks for helping serve.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Thanks for helping serve.
All right, so I guess it's back to studio. This is honestly one of the best episodes I think we've done this year on Up Close on the Weekend with Betty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Back to studio. Thank you.